Okay guys, I was having a hard time trying to show online with a voiceover, or with a voiceover, how to use this turnabout stamp. And so I am going to go ahead and see if I can give you a quick tutorial. But I do want you to know that this is not, I'm probably not doing it the way that it was intended to be done, if that makes sense. But oh my goodness, what am I doing? But it did work for me, so I just decided to go with it. So I thought I would share this with you all. This is what I've got. So what I'm going to do, comes with this sheet that lines it up. And it's in 4 quadrants. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this up with my block. And you could use this with a stamp position or 2. I'm just going to try it with the block. And each time you stamp, after each time you stamp, you're going to turn the block. And the way, how did I make it work before? I used a ruler. That's what I did to help me. So I'm going to just put this ruler there. Oh, goodness gracious. This is where I'm going to do, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to use a ruler. I am going to use a quick piece of washi tape. So I'll know where to line this up, because then this will come off and I'll be all set. Okay. Now, I am not going to worry if all of these don't line up or anything like that. Okay, so that matches, right? Now I'm going to turn it, line it up with my washi down there, and then I'm going to make sure I turn the stamp to line up with where it's at now. I'm going to pick that up with my stamp platform and then go in with another color. Now, there are tutorials on how to do this. They make a little jig for this and everything. But as I played with this way just seemed to work for me, so I just went with it. I don't believe that these are meant to be for scrapbook layouts, but we're scrapbookers, so we're going to just adapt. Where did I put my little, here it is, thingamajig. So now I'm going to turn it again to the right. That way it gets stamped again. Clean this off. Hope this is making sense, you guys. I'm going to use my 3rd color now. By the way, I'm using tattered rose, old paper, and scattered straw. Okay, this one goes this way, so you can see I've got it lined up there. Line it up with my washi. And as I can tell you again, it does not need to be perfect, you guys. It does not need to be perfect. You are not going to notice. So we started this way, we turned it this way, we turned it this way. Now we're going to turn it this way. I'll tell you, the hardest part for me was remembering which color ink I should have been using. So if you were to look close on my layout coming up, I'll just kind of tell on myself. Some of them I used the wrong color and then it changed the color of the ink underneath. But to be quite honest, I don't even think you would ever notice. So I just told on myself for no reason. There we go. Now I think this was meant for 4 colors, but I only used 3, so I just doubled up on the pink. But look there it is. And you will see 3 of these on my layout coming up. Hey guys, oh boy, I hope that little tutorial made sense for y'all. But I am here with Ready, Set, Stamp, and as always, Heather from Heather's Crafty Life and Amanda Kirby are joining me with this monthly process video, and they will have layouts on their channels. I will link them below, so definitely check them out. And for this layout, I am using the Heidi Swapp Storyline collection, which was provided to me by my little scrapbook store. I am on her design team. And oh my goodness, you guys, the colors in these papers are so, so pretty. As you can see earlier there, I kind of was flipping through some of the papers to pick out what I was going to back my photos in, and they're just some gorgeous colors. So I picked out my inks for my stamping specifically to go along with some of those colors. And now I'm going to use a stencil from my stash, and I apologize because I don't think I purchased this. I believe someone gave it to me, but it is kind of the same as the stamp, kind of like one of those little dandelion, I don't know what this flower is called. I am not a flower, a dahlia, that's what it is. And I used the Nuvo glitter paste, or glimmer paste, I guess it's called. They carry that also at my little scrapbook store. And I just wanted to add a little something something along with this background page that I'm creating. So this is a fun way to create a background layout. I got this Concord and Ninth stamp at a recent retreat that I went to. It was part of the swag bag, and I was really excited to use it. So this is what I decided to do for this week's video. So I decided to put the glimmer paste aside to dry, and it really does not take very long at all. And I'm going to start working on kind of my photo cluster. I backed the photo with a pink color, the black and white, and then a yellow. And there were 2 frames in this embellishment pack, and that You and Me tag. And I knew I wanted to use all of those on the layout. Now, the You and Me tag, I decided I wanted to back it with something, and I saw these tags, these cut-aparts on the back of a sheet, and I found one that would work out perfectly for backing my frame, and then I wouldn't have to cut into a 12 by 12 paper. So that's what I decided to do with this frame, because I had already cut into this paper anyway, and so it really worked out well. I did back the tag with a thin layer of black cardstock first, because I really thought it helped it pop, and that is going to be my title. So it's going to be You and Me, and this is just a selfie I took of me and my baby Bailey, my little puppy. She's not a puppy anymore. I think she's 9, but I am a house of all boys, but 2 girl dogs. So these are my girls. There are the frames. I kind of angled them and just kind of angled them however. I mean, I just kind of played around with it until I find a position I like. And one of them says Pure Happiness, and I love that. This kit came with those awesome vellum envelopes, you guys. And when I saw that, it's meant to hold journaling, and there's little journaling tags to put in there. But what I did, when I first saw that, I thought, oh, I really want to make it look like these flowers are coming out of the envelope. So I pulled all of the flowers that kind of went with these colors from the embellishment pack, and I punched out a few hearts with some, with a punch just out of some glitter cardstock and a couple other, one other piece of paper, and I put those in the bottom, or inside the envelope. So they were just kind of floating in there in the bottom. I didn't glue them or anything. And then I positioned all those flowers in there and some hearts. I popped some up. Some of them are vellum. So I was kind of working with the layout then to figure out where am I going to put the envelope, because that I hadn't quite figured out. So you'll see me playing around here, turning things, figuring things out, and just waiting so that I would find a spot where it didn't cover up my stamping and still let some of that gold poke through. Now, I knew when I created this background that much of it was going to be covered up, and I was okay with that. So when I was creating the background, I kind of had an idea of where I wanted to place my photo. So I stamped those 3 flowers in like a small triangle pattern, knowing I was probably going to put my photo in the center or near the center of that. So I decided to go this way, and I'm going to make just kind of a horizontal design across the page. Now those 2 little tags that I put up above the photo, those were from the branding strip. I thought that was a fabulous idea, and I absolutely loved it. So I wanted the gold to come all the way across the page, and I had not put one going off the page on this other side. So I'm just going to go back in and put in some more of that paste so that continues that design there. Now I'm looking at some of the branding strips. Oh, and you'll notice I did a little cluster down to the left side of the photo with another flower that I actually cut from one of the cut apart sheets, and then the cute little rainbow. So these are some branding strips that I pulled out that I decided I wanted to use on the bottom. And I cut off the tops of those frames that I put under the photo. So I used the top part of the frames and kind of made a cluster with one of these labels from the embellishment pack. And I love how that turned out at the bottom. It really grounds the whole page there. I'm going to use that spot for my journaling. So I just really love how that just happened to work out. So I would encourage you, when you're cutting your ephemera apart, or first of all, don't be afraid to cut your whatever part of the ephemera you know you're not going to, that's going to be covered up. Cut it off. You might use it later. And in this case, look at these frames. It pulled everything in perfectly. So definitely keep those top halves of your frames and use them in another spot in your layout. So I'm going to bring some more stamping in here in a little bit. And I just wanted to add just a few more little details around the layout. And I thought, since this is a stamping series, I would go ahead and bring in more stamps. So I'm doing this instead of using like Nuvo drops or enamel drops or sequins. Instead of that, I'm using these small stamps. So as you can see, I've got all of my heart stamps. These are all from all different collections, and I've got them on one sheet. So I pulled out my little heart stamps, and I'm gonna screw up right away on the first stamp because my photo is up on foam, and I'm gonna try to stamp up to the upper left of the photo right here, and yep, messed it up. So now I'm going to kind of fold up the photo and try to stamp over it, which you know that never works, and messed it up even more. So there's always a fix, guys. There's always a fix. Don't panic. So what I did was I took my heart punch and I punched a piece of pattern paper that had like some pink in it, and I just layered it over the stamped heart, and it really does look like it was meant to be that way. And what I did is when I stamped the other hearts, I also layered over a pattern paper punched out heart. So that made it look like I intended to do that. So that's a little tip for you. If you screw up, fix it, but then do that fix around your page. So then your eyes won't notice that it's different. Then I'm coming in with another smaller stamp, and just sprinkling in and doing little clusters of hearts. I used the tattered rose and then just black for those other hearts. And that is going to finish my layout. Check out the links below. I'd love for you to subscribe to all of us. Hit the bell and leave a comment if you have any questions. And don't forget to check out my little scrapbook store. I'll have her link below where you can get all of the latest, greatest paper collections in kits that will be ready for you to scrap with. You will love it.